Today we're digging into a pretty disturbing case out of California. It's about a man who was sworn to uphold the law, but instead, well, he became its worst kind of abuser. This is the story of a profound breach of trust and the long road to justice for his victims.
And the person at the center of this story? Not just anyone. We're talking about a California real estate attorney, a professional, someone people are supposed to trust. And as you can see, the case against him ended with a decisive conviction.
And when I say decisive, I mean it. This wasn't just a single charge. The jury came back with a guilty verdict on, get this, 27 separate felony counts. Yeah, 27. That number alone tells you just how serious this is, and it's a hint at what we're about to dive into.
Okay, so let's break this all down. Who exactly are we talking about? What did he do? And what's the timeline here?
All right, the man's name is Jonathan Dean Bishop. He's 51 years old and was once a partner at his own law group. And a jury in Contra Costa County found him guilty of sexually abusing multiple children.
And you have to understand, this wasn't something that just happened once. It was a horrifying pattern of abuse that went on for 8 years, from 2010 all the way to 2018. It actually took until December of 2023 for investigators to get the big break they needed, which is what ultimately led to that guilty verdict this past March.
So what are those 27 counts exactly? Well, they're pretty grim. 24 of them were for lewd acts committed against 3 different minors, all of them under the age of 14. One of those children was younger than 10. And on top of all that, he was also convicted for possessing hundreds of images of child sexual abuse material.
So you're probably wondering, what was that big break for investigators? How did they finally get him? Well, it all went down at the Oakland International Airport. Bishop was flying in from Florida, where he'd recently moved, and that's when authorities seized a hard drive from him. And that hard drive, that's where they found the critical forensic evidence that basically sealed the deal for the conviction.
Now, after the verdict came in, the district attorney's office released a statement. And it's a really important one because it does something crucial. It shifts the focus away from the criminal and puts it right where it belongs, on the incredible strength of the victims who came forward. The district attorney, Diana Becton, she made it very clear who the heroes of this story are. She said, and I'm quoting here, "The bravery shown by these victims was extraordinary, and their courage made this conviction possible." That just says it all, right? This conviction happened because of them. And of course, a conviction this significant, it's never just one person's win. The DA was quick to thank the whole team that made it happen. We're talking local law enforcement, the specialized Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, and her own trial team, from the attorneys to the victim advocates. It just shows you it takes a whole network of people working together to get this kind of justice.
So, the verdict is in. What happens now? What's next for Jonathan Bishop? Well, the fallout is massive, both for his professional life and, of course, for his freedom.
Okay, let's talk about his career first. Bishop became a lawyer in California back in 2004. So he built a career over, almost 2 decades? Well, as of February of 2025, the State Bar's website is pretty clear. It says he is not eligible to practice law. So yeah, his legal career, it's done. Over.
But the legal consequences are obviously way more severe. He isn't looking at just a few years behind bars. No, he is facing multiple life sentences. The last piece of this process is his sentencing hearing, and that's scheduled for April 17th.
You know, a case like this, it leaves you with some pretty big questions that go way beyond just this one man or this one courtroom. When people we're supposed to trust, people in positions of power, like an attorney, betray that trust in the worst way imaginable, what do? How do we as a society ensure there's real accountability? And maybe the most important question of all is, how do we do a better job of protecting the most vulnerable people among us?